GingerGM.
Right, back after a bit of a break, and I'm going to bring you a long play video. And well, I'm trying to listen to some of your comments, and I know a lot of you get a bit bored of me going through all the opening moves, so I'm not going to speak as much about the opening as I normally do. I normally do that just for the benefit of any beginners who might come along, but all I'm going to say here is I'm playing the classical French, and this move is one of the main lines, and I continue with bishop e7. I'm just following my current theory. I need to really do a DVD on the classical French, because the winner-ware French is what I used to play. And now my opponent's taken with a knight here. Bishop takes is the main line. Knight takes is a sideline. Fingers crossed we're not playing a cheat. It's always my paranoia that I get paired with a cheat. But I can't assume that. Okay, right. Well, now this is kind of a standard position where I've got to think how I'm going to continue my development. Now, I could castle and just play normally like that, but a move I often want to play in these positions is c5. I think it makes sense to castle first, because I don't think he's going to stop me from playing the c5 move anyway. c5 looks natural because I want to open up my bishop towards b2, and I'm always looking for the most active solution. I mean, it's also probably perfectly okay just to develop, you know, put my light squared bishop on the best square it can go to and play moves like that. But I think you should always aim to pressurize your opponent's position as quickly as you can when you're playing. Put as much pressure on him from the start, give him questions to answer, and you know, if he takes here, I'm going to take on b2, and that will leave him with some double pawns there. On the other hand, my bishop will be very strong there, maybe coming with a check after his rook moves. So he's defended that one, and now it makes sense to take on d4 because my opponent might now be threatening to win the pawn here. And again, he's got a decision to make. If he takes with the pawn, I think I'm going to be very happy with my position. I get an isolated pawn position, but my opponent is very much behind in development. So he has taken with a piece here. And again, making exchanges is perfectly okay for me, but the move I really would like to play here is something like e5. I mean, also knight c6 might be better than exchanging. So if I go bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, you know, we get an equalish ending. But I want to see if I can improve on that. So already I need to start thinking here. Now e5 is definitely the move I want to play, because this gains some space in the center and attacks. So if I go e5, it's critical if he plays a move like bishop takes e5. But then I can take the queen. Can I take the queen off? He might be able to take with the king. And then if I give him a check, he goes king here. And that's still very interesting because I get quite a lot of play. I feel like e5 is a move to play, but I need to back it up with calculation. Well, e5, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. See, if I go queen e7, queen e2, rook e8. I mean, this must be good play for me. I'm going to kind of go with my gut instinct here and play e5. Knight c6 is simpler, but then we have lots of exchanges where I'm probably even slightly better there. So that's a simple way to play. Knight c6, bishop takes f6, queen takes f6. I've got rook d8 coming, I've got e5 coming. That should be very nice for me as well. I mean, okay, so as I've got a simple good choice, I'm now thinking I shouldn't play the complicated choice unless I'm entirely sure it's going to work. Well, e5, worst case scenario, he can move his bishop. So I'm kind of thinking e5 is the move I want to play, but maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Well, e5, what if I go knight c6, he can move his bishop as well. So e5, I'm going to go e5. e5, bishop c5. I don't know. Okay, no, I'm going to go here. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with my principles as I'm playing the game. If I was playing a real game, I might have, you know, spend a bit more time calculating. I've been a bit lazy today. You never should be lazy in a real game. I'm I kind of think e5 or knight c6 are the two moves. But if you can't see anything wrong with a simple move, then of course simple is good. But we could get a more positional game here, which is perfectly okay. Even if you're a tactical player and you enjoy playing tactical chess, going positional is you know, I mean, you have to play positional chess. You can't just be a one-trick pony, as we say in England. You have to be a jack of all trades. Okay, well now I'm very happy because I gained a bishop pair, and that makes me very happy. Worst case scenario, queen d2 looks like a really bad move to me. He should have either gone bishop c5 or at least swapped here. Now again, e5 is okay, but he's got this bishop c5 move then, so why allow him to keep that bishop? I want to gain the bishop pair, because in an ending, which a lot of pieces are getting swapped off now, the bishop pair is only going to benefit me. Now if he takes with a pawn, that pawn is very weak, because I can try to put my bishop on this diagonal, take that knight and win the pawn. So he's taken with the knight, and now I have e5. Because the position's quite open now, and my bishop should be working fantastically. I don't even need to think about that. Let's use my pawn majority. When you have a pawn majority, I have 4 pawns here versus 3 pawns. Always, if you're struggling for a plan, look for where your pawn majority is. I have a pawn majority on the king side, so that's where I should be looking to move my pawns. Always look where you have a pawn majority for pawn breaks. So that hence why I'm going for that area. Now, do I keep the queens on, or do I very simply swap queens with a slightly better ending because of my 2 bishops? Well, both are tempting. I mean, even e4 is tempting here. But e4, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, knight d2. And I don't know if I want to move that pawn. He might better blockade it with a knight coming around. I have bishop g5 in that position, knight takes rook e8. Bishop g5, knight c4. I mean, the problem is it's sometimes more difficult to play when you have a good position, because you have more tempting moves. A bishop g4 is another tempting move. I mean, this is the issue here. But maybe I should be trying to punish my opponent for what he's doing. Maybe I should be keeping the queens on. You know, queen b6, move my bishop, get a rook to d8. I feel I should be keeping the queens on. I don't like the way my opponent's played this. He's lost a lot of time. He's given me the advantage. Why make things easier by simplifying the position? When your opponent's played some moves you consider to be slightly dubious, I think it makes sense to try to punish them by keeping the position sharp. I mean, okay, in this case simple was good, but also keeping it sharp is quite simple. I'm not risking anything, and we are keeping the position sharp. Okay, so he's castled again. Very risky decision from my opponent. I'm very happy to see this. Now I think I should be developing my bishop before I'm doing anything. Where do I put it? If I put it on f5, I have a very lovely diagonal. If I put it here, I'm attacking this one. Both very tempting. Now he's going to move his king, isn't he? So maybe I should be going... Okay, let's go here. I'm just looking simple. If I get a chance, I will nick that pawn. If he goes king b1, I'm going to go rook d8. And I'm going to get rid of his rook there. So, again, this looks very nice for me. I mean, I could have gone bishop f5. That was the other move, trying to keep his king trapped there. I don't know which is better. I mean, at least with bishop e6, I have a very easy threat of taking this pawn. Okay, so he's moved that. So now, again, a lot of tempting moves here. I'm just thinking he's in serious trouble now. I'm going to go rook d8. I'm going to have e4 coming when this bishop is going to be lining up on the dart squares. So I'm going to keep it very simple. Let's just take that rook off. And if queen takes, I'm even thinking of queen takes f2. So he's gone king takes. Now, his position is really creaking here. So I should be looking for the killer blows in this position. e4, very tempting. I also have this check. Okay, there should be a win here. There should be a win. His this is where I'm going to spend a bit of time because I feel there's a win. He's got horrible coordination. I've developed all my pieces, so I should be looking for the win. So I need to calculate properly now. Stop being so lazy. Even bishop takes b3, striking me as an option. Pawn takes queen here. Okay, let's not go crazy. So e4 at some point, another good option. e4, queen takes here, queen in. Rook d8, check, king c2, bishop f5, check, king here. e4, opening my bishop, looking horrible for him. That looks like the best one to do. Well, let's just bring my last piece into the attack. This one I'm going to play without much thought because I'm moving a piece with check into the game. So it's got to be a good move, just following basic things. In this game I haven't calculated deeply at all. It has to be said, I'm doing very basic calculations. But I will need to start calculating soon. So king c2 looks correct. Then where is the finish? Well, even e4 there, straight away. Tempting his queen out. And then coming with a queen check here is very tempting. Oh God, again, my position's just too darn good here. King here, queen a5, threatening this one, and c3. That's a very good move. Queen here. And then if he goes king b2, e4. And I'm hitting this, so he has to go knight e4, knight d4. Do I have checkmate? Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, check, king b1. So many good moves. Like I said, too many good moves. Okay, bishop check, king here, pawn here. Also very tempting. Knight somewhere like here. Then I have bishop, king takes, queen d4, mate. I like this move. Let's get another piece into a better diagonal. Let's do this one. Let's get a check. The other idea was queen a5, which is catching my attention, but I've just seen a very attractive line here where he moves his king to b2, and now I go e4, and if he goes knight d2, the only move I was concerned about, I have bishop takes c3, king takes, queen d4 check, king here, and then e3 check. These bishops becoming tremendous, and I can't see my opponent surviving this one now. This bishop needed to be opened up, and my opponent's development over on the king side is diabolical, so he just shouldn't be able to survive. I can play it simply also in some positions, my rook coming in, but I want to kill him with bishop takes c3. Now bishop takes c3, king takes, queen d4, king c2, e3, check. He moves his king. I take on d2, check. Yeah, this must be killing. Let's do it. Let's just open him up. And now if he doesn't take my bishop, I take on d2. I win a piece very simply. I should remind everyone I'm streaming tonight, by the way, 6 p.m. GMT. Probably about, 4 hours after this video goes up? Something like that. I don't know. Let's see. So you can join me for a 2-hour stream. This game, my opponent moved very quickly, proving to be one of my quickest ever wins at this time limit. I think it's going to be a win. I'm not going to count the chickens quite yet, but I think it might even be mate. King c2, e3 check. If king c1, queen to a1 is going to be checkmate. If king d1, queen a1 is going to be checkmate. I think this is just leading to checkmate, or I'm gonna, yeah, it's leading to checkmate. There's no way you could stop this. And again, actually, I mean, we'll have a very quick look at this. I didn't really do anything special, and often you don't need to improve by doing special things. You can improve by just playing natural, steady moves and following, with some basic calculation. I mean, here I've been a bit lazy. I haven't calculated deeply at all. But you don't always need to do that. I mean, if I calculate deeply, I may have found an even clearer way to win this. But this is game over now with my queen on the next move, coming in to a1 with checkmate. My opponent played pretty horrendously there. Very strange of him to play so quickly, earlier on. In these openings, my opponent was just banging out the moves, typical mistake. If you're in a position where you haven't had before, you need to spend a lot of time in the opening, because if you get yourself an awful position from the opening, you're going to lose. And we're going to look at the typical, maybe one of the most important things to take away from this game is the typical mistakes that my opponent actually played, because he did do a fair few typical mistakes. I mean, he never got his king to safety. Castling queenside was a step too far. Now let's not hope that my opponent is one of these characters. Okay, I was going to say, okay, well, he wasn't a computer, guaranteed. If he was, he's a bloody weak one. And he played just a bit too quickly there. So let's have a look at this again. And okay, well, let's go back. Now, bishop g5, if you want to learn this opening from black's point of view, bishop b, this is what I play now, knight f6. There's two moves, e5 or bishop g5. Bishop g5 is one of the main options. Now I take here and block the pin. Now the main move here is bishop takes f6, because this knight is a very good piece. Why exchange off a very good centralized knight? A centralized knight is very good. And when he takes on f6, you can either take with a pawn or with the bishop. The pawn is more dynamic, bishop takes is very solid, and I think perfectly okay. Now after knight takes, he's got rid of his good piece, so pawn takes makes less sense, because he can keep his bishop, stop me from castling. Bishop takes is very simple. And I've had it here where white is exchanged again on f6, and I think this position is already equal. If you get an equal position with black from from the opening, you should be happy. You're aiming to get equality with black, but positions you enjoy, and slight advantage with white. Or even if you're white, even if you get an equal position with white, but you really enjoy the positions, that's also okay. What I mean is in the middle game. The middle game's the most important part of the game. Normally, not here. Now this moves the same piece twice. I can castle straight away. Now here, my opponent should really be concentrating again castled. So he does develop, and because my opponent has played some funny moves, I've noticed that he's played some peculiar moves. It's time to try to punish him for that. I've castled, he hasn't castled. I should be opening it up. So c5 I think is an excellent move. If he takes that, I'm slightly better. I take a very nice pawn there. He tries to maintain that square, and I simply capture. If he takes with the pawn, that pawn is going to be very weak. So he takes with a piece. Now after knight c6, this is where he played, I think, a horrendous move. He should have either gone bishop takes bishop, and then got castled quickly with bishop e2 and castles, because he needs to get castled. This is one of the basic rules. Or he should have tried something a bit more, I don't know, like interesting, like bishop c5. Queen d2, far too slow. His king is in the center. I have good development, and I now need to just open it up. So taking on d4, simple. If he takes the pawn, again, he'll lose that pawn in the long run. And now I can start using my pawns. And here, I think, as we saw, I made a good decision. I could have gone super simple, gone for an ending with two bishops, where I'm slightly better. But again, I've noticed that my opponent has played, he's not castled. So why swap queens when he's not castled and I am? Queen b6 aims to put a rook upon d8 and attack his position quickly. And it was actually quite easy here. Castles, develop. I'm sticking to principles, and only now when I've developed everything, well actually let's develop the rooks, this is what I did, and I could see a way here where I could get all my pieces in the game, and up to this point I haven't really need to calculate anything. It was only here where I needed to calculate, because my position's good and we should be able to see there's clear tactical opportunities here with my opponent so badly developed, all my pieces doing a good job. Maybe there was a quicker win, but when you've seen one win, why bother calculating for another win? Double check your win. And I saw that after this bishop check here, he really has to keep his king defending this pawn. And now I need to open up the bishop that is lined up against his king. If he plays knight to d4, I can simply go bishop takes, worst case, but also rook takes d4 is probably going to lead to checkmate. And where else does he move his knight? Well, it doesn't matter, because now I worked out this move is going to lead to the win. And very simple game, because all my pieces working, And next move, my queen is coming to a1 with checkmate. So my opponent, okay, he's 1800. I mean, I think most players at this time are very underrated, so I'd say he's probably 2000 elo. But hopefully you got some tips in this game about how to crush lower rated players with very simple and thought processes. That's the idea of this video. Now, let me remind you again, there is a stream tonight. Maybe you won't see this in time, but it's possible. And the stream, let me make sure I've got the right one, is at 6 p.m. GMT. I'm streaming a lot this week, so go and check out when I'm streaming. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I'm back now. I've been away in Reykjavik for a couple of weeks, hence the delay in making videos, working, commentating over there. But I've got some more time now, and I'll try to get some videos out for you guys this week. Please do like, please do subscribe. I want to get my subscribership up. Helps me do more stuff. And thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.